Sox just got finished sweeping 4 against the Tigers in Detroit, but then again, who doesn't? They return to Fenway to face Jack McKeon's Marlins. You may have heard of them, 2003 world champs, but on this night, in this game, they play like anything but. Enjoy the game, because the Sox sure did.
And we welcome you back live to Fenway Park in Boston. Another sticky evening in America's greatest city. And a big crowd looking on as the Red Sox take the field for the start of this series with the Florida Marlins. The Marlins starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. More than 2,700 nonstop daily flights to 59 destinations all across the country. Juan Pierre, the center fielder, leads off. Luis Castillo, the second baseman. Batting third, the catcher, Pudge Rodriguez. Mike Lowell, who, as Jerry said, is having a terrific year, the third baseman and cleanup hitter. Juan Encarnacion in right field. Derek Lee is the first baseman, batting sixth. Then the left fielder, Miguel Cabrera. The shortstop, Alex Gonzalez, and the DH, Todd Hollinsworth, will bat ninth.
The defense tonight for the Red Sox, they're 8th in the league, 54 errors on the season. Bill Miller will be at third base, Nomar the shortstop, Todd Walker at second, and Kevin Millar, playing against his former ball club, will be at first. Left to right, Manny Ramirez, Johnny Damon, and Trot Nixon. Jason Varitek behind the plate, and Byung-Hyun Kim doing the pitching. This will be his 5th start, the record of 1-1. He lost the last time out against the Phillies, but pitched very well in that game. 6 innings, only 2 earned runs. The problem is the Red Sox went up against Brett Myers, who pitched a 3-hit shutout against the Red Sox. He has made 15 appearances against the Marlins. 1 start, that start coming this year in Phoenix. He was the losing pitcher in a 7-5 loss to Florida.
And the man who will be calling his pitches tonight is Mark Carlson, the home plate umpire, with Rob Drake at first. Jerry Davis at second. Paul Nowart has the plays at third. The lights are on. The breeze blowing across the field from right to left. They handed us a card a moment ago, Jerry, that said it's 76 degrees.
I find that hard to believe.
Seems quite a bit warmer than that, but the dew point, they tell us, is 77, which means it's very humid. You will explain dew point and how it works later on.
That means the temperature, the index comfort level or something has got to be somewhere around 95.
I think when the dew point is like around the temperature, that means it's muggy. Or above.
It's very uncomfortable.
And it is. It's very humid here tonight. Here's Juan Pierre, the speedy center fielder, to get this one started. 288 with 22 runs batted in. And Kim's first pitch is bunted, and a good one. They have to hurry. Kim not in time. So Pierre, who leads the majors in stolen bases with 33, is aboard on the first pitch of the night, a well-placed bunt.
Yeah, that's his 12th bunt base hit of the season. Now Roberts is the leader with 13, but 12 now for Juan Pierre. And not a great bunt either. It was just right down that first base line by the time Kim could get to it, and with the speed of Pierre, no chance at all at getting him at first base.
It's Dave Roberts of the Dodgers, the National League leader in infield hits. Jerry mentioned he's up there in bunt hits as well. They pitch out, well aware of Pierre's base stealing ability, and Luis Castillo looked at a ball.
This Marlins ball club, they're first in the National League in steals. They will go. They have been not running as much as they did under Jeff Torborg, under Jack McKeon, but they're still a very quick ball club.
As you see, he is far and away the National League leader, and he's running on the pitch. It's slapped down to third. Nice play by Bill Miller on the first, but he out.
Now that's a terrific play by Bill Miller. He's in very close at third base, expecting the bunt from a very speedy Castillo, and he has to go back a couple of steps to play this ball on that high. And then waste no time from foul territory. Plant and get a good accurate throw to Millar to get the out at first base.
So Pierre in scoring position with 1 out for Pudge Rodriguez. In his first year with Florida, after a great run with the Texas Rangers, hitting .279, he's come on lately. 9 homers, 35 runs batted in. He had a 3-hit game for the Marlins last night in New York against the Mets. Throw to second. Walker wasn't all the way to the bag. Had he been there, it had a chance to be a much closer play.
Yeah, that's a pretty quick move right there by Kim. Look how quickly he spins around, and that's the reason Walker was not there in time. That's much quicker than you see most pitches on a pickoff attempt at second base.
The ball up and in on Rodriguez, signed by the Marlins as a free agent in January. We mentioned he's been a hot hitter lately, and very hot lately with men in scoring position. 11 for his last 22. Right off the end of the bat, and a foul ball wide of first.
I would imagine, Sean, there'd be some adjustment for a guy like Rodriguez, who spent his whole career in the American League, to come over and see these pitches for the first time. And you know, the good hitters, it may take a little while, but eventually they're going to rise to the top. And as you mentioned, Sean, he's starting to swing the bat very well.
Trying to deliver Juan Pierre from second with one out, just underway in the first. We were talking with one of the Marlins broadcasters before the game, John Chambi, about Rodriguez. He also talked about the adjustment in playing half your games in a much different home park. We saw over the years in Texas, Rodriguez, a great hitter all over the field, but particularly to right center. They're determined to keep Pierre close at second, and right center field is a launch to hit it out of their stadium in Florida, Pro Player Stadium, whereas the ball used to carry very well to a relatively short right center field down in Arlington. Fouled off the mitt of Veritek. 1-2 on the 10-time Gold Glove winner, Pudge Rodriguez, who's hit .284 in 44 career games here at Fenway. He has been walking more than usual as a National Leaguer. Already walked 34 times this season. That's already the third highest season total of his career. Pulled foul.
Juan Pierre at second base. So this is when you want to steal third with one out, and he's doing everything possible to get a jump. But so far, Todd Walker and Kim have done a nice job of keeping him close to the bag. You like to get there with one out, then he can score on that sacrifice fly, or if the infield's back, the ground ball.
Pierre hit 2 stolen bases last night in New York. All the way to the right. Still 1-2 on Rodriguez, now 31 years old.
Well, it's been 2 weeks since we've worked together because we got rained out last week in Philadelphia. How did you enjoy the spring this year? Wasn't it wonderful?
We didn't have spring.
We didn't have one.
We went from 55 and raining every day to 98 with a very high dew point. I'm still not buying 76 degrees again.
No, I can't buy that either.
Little lob through into center field for a base hit. Pierre being waved around, and he will score, and the Marlins lead 1-0. So Pudge Rodriguez remains hot and knocks in his 36th run of the year.
Well, he's now 4 for 7 against Kim, and you'll see why right there with that swing. Rodriguez is one of those hitters who brings the hands inside the baseball, and of course with that ball running back in on him, he still can get the good part of the bat on it. He's not one of those guys that surrounds the ball. He's hands inside the ball, and he can handle the movement on that fastball from Kim. That's one of the reasons he's had that success.
And he will still run from time to time. Ball one just low to Mike Lowell, the National League leader in homers with 24. He's third in runs batted in with 65. Hitting .290 for the year, having certainly an all-star caliber season. Lofts that down the left field line and just foul.
Now this is one of those nights at Fenway where you have that breeze blowing out toward left field, and if you get the ball high enough, it's going to get a pretty good push out toward that wall. Hot, muggy night with a breeze in that direction. A hitter's night at Fenway. Those aren't thunder boomers, are they, Sean?
There have been some thunderstorms in the area, we are told. But it never rains at the ballpark, as we found out this spring.
That's right.
Well, we got our money's worth with that rain last Friday night in Philadelphia.
Oh,
too.
my goodness.
And that was one of those rainouts where it wasn't like, well, let's sit around and wonder if we'll get this one in. Torrential rain.
What a pretty city when it's raining like it is, and you know everything's dark and dingy. And
it's a rough town, isn't it? I liked when we were driving back to the hotel how we noticed, and it's hard not to notice, that they parked the cars
in the middle of the road
on Broad Street in Philadelphia, right in the middle of the road, right between the lanes of traffic.
It's almost like if you could imagine a trolley car going right down the center. That's how they park their cars,
Yeah, they
right?
do.
Yeah.
Right along the center line, basically. 1-2 on Lowell. And that's line to second. Walker caught it. Easy double play. But the Marlins get a run on 2 hits, and after half inning they lead 1-0.
Nesson is your home for Boston Bruins hockey. And this season, every game ends with Bank North's overtime. New England's Bruins postgame show.
I couldn't sleep the last week. You know, who's cool enough to think that he might go to the Hall of Fame?
Nesson congratulates the guy who made closing cool.
Whatever. There's nothing like it, man. I'm just thrilled. That's all I can say.
The hot stove is heating up. Next year is here. So stay tuned to Nesson, because we got your socks inside out. Tune in Red Sox Inside Out each week for complete off-season updates on your team and your players. Inside Out covers your socks right up through spring training with interviews, analysis, and more. Red Sox Inside Out. The hot stove just got hotter. Tuesday night following Bruins hockey on Nesson. Catch up when you wake up every morning on Sports Desk. Every 15 minutes from 5 to 9 a.m., get a complete update on New England sports and all the scores from Desk's new rotating scoreline. Sports Desk, our sportscast on your schedule. Know the score before the game with the Boston Globe pregame report featuring commentary and analysis from Globe writers and Nesson's own pregame news, notes, and more. The Boston Globe pregame report, 30 minutes before game time on Nesson. Stay in and get out each week with Nesson Outdoors, sponsored by Obashan Hardware. Nesson Outdoors is New England's only outdoor programming block featuring Charlie Moore Outdoors, Northeast Journal, Camo Country, Divers Down, and The Ride. It's 3 hours of fresh air, fun, and more. Charlie Moore, Nesson's own mad fisherman, and your host each week for Nesson Outdoors, sponsored by Obashan Hardware, Sunday nights at 8 on Nesson.
After half inning, Florida has a 1-0 lead. The Red Sox lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. As Boston goes for its 5th straight win, Grady Little has Johnny Damon, the center fielder, leading off, then Todd Walker, the second baseman, Nomar Garcia-Parra, the shortstop. The cleanup hitter, left fielder Manny Ramirez. David Ortiz is the DH tonight. Kevin Millar at first base bats 6th. Then Trot Nixon in right field, Bill Miller, the third baseman, and the catcher Jason Varitek hitting 9th.
The defense tonight for the Marlins, they're 4th in the National League, only 43 errors on the season. Mike Lowell will be at third base. Alex Gonzalez, the shortstop, Louis Castillo at second, and Derek Lee at first. Left to right, Miguel Cabrera, Juan Pierre, and Juan Encarnacion. Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate. He is in goal there because he's a Gold Glove winner. And, of course, on the mound, Carl Pavano, former member of the Red Sox organization. Start number 17 for Pavano. He is 6-8. Very good control. Only 16 walks in 69 innings. An opponent sitting .259 off Pavano.
And he's on the outside corner twice to Johnny Damon, who wasn't sure about either call. Damon's average coming up .255. 6 homers, 33 runs batted in. Again at the outside corner, this time wide. Damon had a 13-game hitting streak come to an end on Wednesday. strike 3. Pavano didn't get that close call. Jerry talked about Pavano's control. He leads the National League in fewest walks per 9 innings, averaging 1.4 walks per 9. He hasn't given up a walk in his last 15 1/3 innings.
And like a lot of guys that do that, Sean, with excellent control, challenge hitters, they do give up some home runs. He's given up 12 home runs so far this season.
That's twice as many as anybody else on the Florida staff. Base hit for Damon down the first base and right field line. Encarnacion over to play it, but there's nothing he can do to prevent Johnny Damon from reaching second base.
13-game hitting streak came to a stop for Damon on Wednesday. He had yesterday off, and maybe the off day has done him some good. Breaking ball, a slider right down that first base line. The ball ricochets off the wall out to Encarnacion, an easy leadoff double for Johnny Damon.
His 22nd of the season, moving him into a tie for 8th in the American League in that category. So the tying run in scoring position with nobody out here in the first, and the batter Todd Walker at 302, 6 homers, 40 runs batted in. Turn to bunt.
Seems pretty strange the way the Red Sox have been swinging the bat and scoring a lot of runs, playing for the one early run to tie the ball game. Walker might have been doing that on his own.
Mike Cubbage, the Red Sox third base coach. They are in at the corners, particularly the third baseman Lowell. No sign of a bunt this time, and a ball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Walker. 325 for the year with men in scoring position, but 375 since April 22nd. Hold down the right field line, foul this time. He got out ahead of an off-speed pitch. One and 2 as Pavano works to Walker. Up and away. Pavano, of course, a New England native from Connecticut, born in New Britain, went to high school in Southington, Connecticut. Graduated from Southington High School in 1994, played for a state championship team there, and was a 13th round draft choice of the Red Sox in the June draft. Would have been a higher round pick, but he had announced his intention to go to Louisiana State University, which coincidentally is the school that was attended by the man at the plate, Todd Walker. Pavano signed with the Red Sox instead. Made it as high as AAA with Pawtucket in 1997, and then was traded in the offseason after the 97 season of Montreal in the deal that brought Pedro Martinez to the Red Sox. Sinking fast and center and in for a hit. Around to the plate comes Damon with the game's first run for Boston. It's a 1-1 game as Todd Walker continues to produce with runners in scoring position. That's his 42nd RBI.
Now, Walker had only been 1 for 7 against Pavano in his career. He hits a very good pitch there. That pitch was tailing down and away, and even with nobody out, they're going to challenge the arm of Juan Pierre in center field. Does not have a very good throwing arm, and Mike Cubbins just sending home Johnny Damon. He scores easily to tie this ball game up.
Now Nomar Garcia-Parra up to 343, his 4th in the American League. 11 homers, 52 runs batted in. Swing and a miss.
I think Nomar's enjoyed hitting at Fenway this year. 411 here at Fenway Park as we look at the league leaders in batting. Mora, Ichiro, Bradley, and then Garcia Parra at 343.
You're right. He's hit in 29 games in a row here at Fenway. And 35 of 36 at home, and he's going to extend now with a ball about halfway up on the wall. Fielded by Pierre. Garcia Parra in a second with a double. That's his 112th hit of the season. That ties him with Ichiro and with Albert Pujols of St. Louis for the major league lead in hits.
Garcia Parra picks up his 22nd double of the season. I'll tell you what, we've seen him, Sean, go through a lot of hot streaks in his career, but I don't ever recall one as hot as what he's in right now. And for the good, solid, hard contact that he's making throughout this streak.
And he joins Johnny Damon as part of that tie for 8th in the league in doubles. 3 straight hits to start the game. Red Sox picking up right where they left off. Rosenthal on his way back to the mound. No action in the Florida bullpen.
I kind of give up analyzing this because there's only so many ways you can analyze hits. There's one to the opposite field for Miller.
Those are the first 2 runs charged to Labrault. A 13-run first inning. The Red Sox will send at least 18 men to the plate. They batted around twice here in the first. Varitek takes the ball low and away. And if he could hit one out of here, the Red Sox would tie the team record for most runs in any inning, which is 17 against Detroit, June 18th of 1953. Ball 2 up and away. Varitek singled to center to knock in 2. That was against Tejera, batting right-handed, so he has a chance to have a hit from each side of the plate in the first. He also has a chance to walk or to load the bases. If he had a home run, it would not tie the record to make it 16. Bases are not loaded. There were runners at second and third. Taking all the way, it's a strike. Johnny Damon on deck with a chance to bat for the 3rd time in the first inning. Ball 4. Varitek reaches for the 2nd time. Ian's probably thinking that time away from managing wasn't such a bad thing.
This is, I mean, you have to feel sorry for him right here. I mean, this is gotten completely out of hand.
And Jack shaking his head almost as if to say, you know, we're not going to warm up anybody else. We got a weekend series to play here. Somebody's going to have to take the beating. And it might be the hometown guy.
Yeah, this has all the makings of a game where a position player comes in to pitch at the end.
Here's Johnny Damon. He doubled and scored, leading off the game. He tripled in the 2nd at bat of this inning to drive in a run and scored again. Batting with the bases loaded. And 2 outs. And a strike on the corner.
Even one of the outs in this inning was a productive out, the sacrifice fly by Millar.
Inside Out covers your Sox right up through spring training with interviews, analysis, and more. Red Sox Inside Out. The hot stove just got hotter. Tuesday night following Bruins hockey.
We're in the game.
Todd Walker up for the 3rd time already. He was 2 for 2 in the first inning. He singled to knock in a run in his first at bat, single to drive in another. In his 2nd at bat, he scored twice. Damon, Walker, Ramirez, and Ortiz all scored twice in the inning, as did Trot Nixon. Damon had 3 hits in the inning, a double, triple, and single. He knocked in 2 and scored 2. Walker with 2 singles, and now he has walked. He has driven in 2 runs as Walker and scored twice. Garcia Parra 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored in the first. He also popped out. Ramirez hit a 3-run homer and singled. He scored twice. Ortiz doubled and walked and scored twice. Millar singled to knock in a run and scored, and then had a sacrifice fly. Nixon singled and walked and scored twice. Miller walked and doubled. Drove in 2 and scored 1 and was thrown out at the plate trying to score another. And Varitek singled to knock in 2 and scored, and then walked. Other than that, they didn't do much in the first.
Not much happened in that first inning other than that.
14 runs, the most ever in the first inning for the Red Sox. Garcia Parra the batter, and he's in the hole 0-2. And the 14 runs also matches their second highest run total in any inning. We mentioned the club record, 17 runs in an inning, June 18th, 1953 against Detroit. They scored 14 in an inning one other time, July 4th of 1948 against Philadelphia. Were you in that game?
What year was that?
48.
Might have been.
That wasn't your 6-hit night, was it?
No, I was probably the only guy that went 0 for 15 in that game.
By the way, your 6-hit night has gotten a lot of attention. I mean, this has been an amazing week or two for Red Sox offense, with a lot of records being broken. And of course, Nomar had the 6-hit game in Philadelphia, which tied the team record held by a few people, including you. In 1981, Nomar lifts a fly ball to right. Encarnacion had trouble picking it up. He makes the catch. That record, from what I've been led to believe anyway, as it pertains to you, is a little tainted, because I'm told by some people who were around back then that you had 5 hits and maybe 1 shaky one, then there was a scoring change. And you want to fess up?
I don't remember. It's Leo White that told you that, right?
And you know Leo, the ultimate authority.
Now, I don't remember if there was 1 change. I can promise you that I did not beg for that to be changed, because I had no clue, obviously, that was going to be a record or not. So it was probably the wisdom of the official scorer, if that did happen.
Just passing along what Leo tells me, and he is our resident historian and collector of facts. You know, Leo doesn't collect rumors or opinions. He is a collector of facts.
I couldn't tell you. I can't remember one of those hits, to be quite honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I really don't.
Man, he hits it high in the air toward the triangle in center. He just got a little bit under that one. And he's retired for the first time tonight on a catch by Pierre.
I think the other thing to remember is that took me 2 days to do that. I think I was 6 for 10 in that game.
There, we hit the curfew, right?
Yeah, hit the curfew. We finished the next day. Nomar was 6 for 6 in that game. And you got a guy tonight, Johnny Damon, who's already got 3 hits. He may be pushing to tie the record tonight, or maybe beat it. You never know.
You never know. One of the wacky things about this game, you just never know. You don't remember thinking, you know, I'm having a big night for myself here?
No, I mean, I recall having a number of hits, but I couldn't honestly tell you whether 2 of them were bunts or one was a slap to the opposite field or a dub. I really don't remember. Honestly, that's the truth.
Interesting how you wouldn't speculate that they might have been ringing line drives. I mean,
they probably would not. You saw me play.
Yeah, that's true. No, I saw you play the other night. They replayed, I'm sorry to bring this up, the 1978 playoff.
Did we lose again?
Yankees. You lost again. Yeah. You had a great game.
Yeah, that's
made some
game.
Nice defensive plays. You had a few hits.
Yeah, I did okay in that game.
You did. It wasn't your fault. I believe you had a hit in the 8th and in the 9th innings.
Both off Goose Gossage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
he looked beatable that day. You know, watching the replay, he didn't look like he was, you know, totally on his Goose Gossage game.
I think he was on short rest that day. And you're right, Sean. He was not. He did not throw as hard that day as we normally would see. Guidry, I'm talking about to start the game. But remember, Gossage came in that game, I believe, in the 7th inning.
Yep.
So I mean, he was about out of gas in the 9th. And that's the only reason I could pull the ball.
The 2-2 to Ortiz is outside. David doubled and walked and scored twice in the first inning. We're in the second. And the Red Sox lead 14-1.
I'll tell you what I do remember more, which is the Red Sox record, 4 steals in a game. And that was against my old team, the Anaheim Angels. I remember that.
All over the record book.
I remember that more than the 6 hits. Look at this.
High and deep and way, see many hit there. Over the bullpen, over that triangular stretch of stands behind the bullpen, and up into the first couple of rows of the bleachers above that wall, well to the right of the 420 mark. And that has to be 430 plus for David Ortiz, the Red Sox second homer of the night, his second hit, and it is 16-1, and this was a mammoth blast.
Sean, the only one that I can remember going this deep from a left-handed hitter in that area was by Eddie Murray when he was with the Baltimore Orioles.
That's a shot.
That's crushed.
Ortiz hasn't hit many homers this year. That's just his fourth. He's now driven in 35 runs for the year. $16 runs on 14 hits for the Red Sox.
What's that little dance Pedro and Ortiz are doing? Did you see that?
Yes, I did. And I don't know the answer as it pertains to the name of the dance, if there is one.
It's not a long dance. It's already over.
You set any other records you'd like to tell us about?
No, it's a long game, Sean. Got to save some of our stuff for the end. And we look back at the dance. These guys are very close to each other in the Dominican. Yeah, it's quite the dance.
And ball 4 outside. The second walk in the inning giving up by Brault, and the fifth that he's given up in an inning in 2/3. Their control was pretty decent at the beginning. But it has fallen off lately. They've now walked 6. So the Red Sox have 16 runs on 14 hits and 6 walks in an inning in 2/3. And here's Nixon, who has singled and walked and scored twice, all of that in the first inning. He pops it up over by the Marlins dugout, Lowell with room. And that ends the inning. The Red Sox add 2 more on the home run by David Ortiz.
Up when you wake up every morning on Sports Desk. Every 15 minutes from 5 to 9 a.m. Get a complete update on New England sports and all the scores from Desk's new rotating scoreline. Sports Desk, our sportscast on your schedule. Know the score before the game with the Boston Globe pregame report featuring commentary and analysis from Globe writers and NESN's own pregame news, notes, and more. The Boston Globe pregame report, 30 minutes before game time on NESN. Stay in and get out each week with NESN Outdoors, sponsored by Obashan Hardware. NESN Outdoors is New England's only outdoor programming block featuring Charlie Moore Outdoors, Northeast Journal, Camo Country, Divers Down, and The Ride. It's 3 hours of fresh air, fun, and more. Charlie Moore, NESN's own mad fisherman, and your host each week for NESN Outdoors, sponsored by Obashan Hardware, Sunday nights at 8 on NESN.
Hard-hitting TV.
Power play goal. Holy cow. Murray scores.
Full TV. Cutting-edge TV.
Great shot.
Bruins hockey on NESN.
Tuesday, it's Bruins Islanders in New York. Coverage begins at 6:30 on NESN. The hot stove is heating up. Next year is here. So stay tuned to NESN, because we got your Sox inside out. Tune in Red Sox Inside Out each week for complete off-season updates on your team and your players. Inside Out covers your Sox right up through spring training with interviews, analysis, and more. Red Sox Inside Out. The hot stove just got hotter. Tuesday night following Bruins hockey on NESN.
Done a little fanatic editing for you. We cut out some boring stuff and get to the good stuff.
strike pitch to Todd Hollinsworth. Bounced down the first baseline. How about that play by Doug Mirabelli? Just into the game at first base after pinch hitting. Tested immediately and responded with flying colors.
Remember, early in spring training, there was some talk that possibly Grady would use Mirabelli over at first base to get into the right-handed bat in the lineup. Well, he hasn't played very much over there at all, and he makes a nice play to take a base hit away from Hollinsworth. Look at him looking at the dugout expecting the bunt. I don't know. 19-1. I'm not sure he'd be bunting. They got him in both at first and third. Now they'll move Doug back.
Will Miller stays in on the grass for Pierre. Now backs up. Mirabelli again. Oh boy. Went for the same approach. Pierre trying to get into second, and he's in there safely.
See, that's
Doug's technique seems to be, Jerry, charge it and get it on the trap hop.
That's the catcher's mentality. Charge everything, knock it down. I think if Doug had stayed back a step there, he would have had the nice easy play. Instead, he turns it into a difficult play.
Number 12, Mike Mordecai.
And a half smile by Mirabelli.
They attack. They have scored that as an error on Mirabelli. And a foul ball back onto the screen from Mike Mordecai. Up for the first time, hitting .225 for the year. With 2 runs batted in. He's had 40 at bats, 9 hits. Byung-Hyun Kim missed the outside part of the plate. There's a strike. There's some other changes in addition to Mirabelli. Because Mirabelli's in at first, Millar's moved from first to left field. And Freddie Sanchez takes over at short for Nomar. 74th pitch of the night from Kim. Looked like he slipped a little bit as he delivered that one. 2-2.
I'll tell you one thing, Kim's a bundle of energy out on that mound.
Back onto the screen.
Red Sox have, what, 20 hits in the ball game so far through the 4 innings. The Red Sox record for hits in a game is 28. And that was done back on June 8th of 1950 against St. Louis. A lot of things going on here tonight.
The record for runs is 29. That was the same night. That's the major league record for runs in a game as well. Mordecai strikes out for the second out of the inning, and that's the 4th K of the night for BK.
Now, we got some action down in that Red Sox bullpen, so maybe not too many more pitches for Kim in this game with a comfortable lead. That's that fastball that will tail back to the inside corner with a little help from Veritek. Oh, a little pain for Kim after that pitch.
A few times, that little flex move that you do all the time in front of the mirror up here. Pudge Rodriguez, the batter, excuse me, his replacement Mike Redmond, the batter. Ryan Roop warming up in the bullpen. Redmond up for the first time tonight, hitting .230 for the year with 8 runs batted in. As usual, when you back up Pudge Rodriguez, you don't play very much. Left side under the glove of Sanchez. Pierre around and he will score. And the Marlins are on the comeback trail. It's 19-2. You know, that great catch by Pierre, Jerry, at the end of the last inning. We could look back on that as the momentum turner, and that is a big play in this game.
And we kid about that, but you know something, I like to see that kind of effort from a team that's getting blown out of the ball game, but yet he's able to try to go in there and make a great play, dive for the ball, and at least help out his pitching staff any way he possibly can. That number 3 spot is hot tonight. Rodriguez had 2 hits before leaving. Now Redmond picks up the base hit to drive in a run.
Here's Andy Fox up for the first time tonight. He takes the ball inside.
Here's a catch Sean was talking about. Juan Pierre in center field. You like to see that effort. And look at that, a snow cone, but able to hold on to it. And those pitchers that are out there getting their brains beat in certainly appreciate any effort at all that those defenders will give them throughout the game.
Rather violent image that you're putting in.
Well, I didn't mean it that way, but I mean getting hit hard, getting lit up.
It's okay, like a pinata. There's a strike. 1-2. Fox has 67 at bats with 14 hits this year for that .209 average. Runner at first, 2 outs. 19-2 Red Sox 5th inning. The 1-2 pitch hit him on the knee, and then got a pretty sizable chunk of Veritek.
Not a lot of effort here by Fox to get out of the way, as he looks like he almost put his knee into the ball to take one for the team. He turned that knee in like players turn their shoulder in on a ball that's up and in. Just let it graze off there.
Hit the kneecap, though. That wouldn't have been very pleasant. You know, down by 17, Jerry. Anything to get on base. Get the comeback train rolling. Here's Encarnacion, who has walked and fly to center. Red Sox leading 19-2. They're out hitting Florida 20-5. The Red Sox have made the only error of the game. That's to center. Damon started in. Now scurries back, and it goes over his head. 2-run score. Redmond and Fox across the plate to make it 19-4. And Encarnacion winds up at second base.
Now, Johnny didn't read that very well off the bat. He started in, and with the ball being on the line, by the time he readjusts to go back, he can't catch up to it. Right up over the top of the glove, and we'll see how they score that.
That should be an error, I think. No, he didn't get a glove on it, but he misplayed the ball.
Yeah, they gave him a double, I believe, and a couple of RBI. Center fielders will tell you that line drive that's right at you, the most difficult play for them to make in center field.
I think that's our man Joe Gigliotti over there scoring tonight, who's usually a very high standard on the fielders, which makes it even more surprising to me that was not an error, if in fact it is Joe Gill, and I believe it is because I saw him here tonight. Derek Lee, the batter. (2-0) the count. He is lined to center and grounded to short. 3 runs here in the 5th for Florida. And a bullet out of the reach of Miller. Played back in by Millar. His throw cut off by Miller. It's 19-5.
Derek Lee, who has now played in 290 straight games. That's the longest streak in club history. I should say the second longest streak in club history. The record is 307 by Jeff Conine.
Who, by the way, is a very good racquetball player.
Yeah, did we mention that at all?
I don't think it's required, but every time we refer to Jeff Conine, we mention that he's a world-class racquetball player. Dave Wallace, the pitching coach at the mound. Of course, they want Kim to get through this inning to get a win. He's up to 87 pitches and really should be out of the inning had that fly ball to center been handled. Is this game being broadcast back in Korea?
It might be. There's a lot of activity in the booth next to us.
2 hours left. I don't understand how those broadcasts are going on. There's an Asian broadcasting crew and also Spanish radio over there. There's a fly ball to right off the bat of Cabrera. It should end the inning. And it does as Nixon makes the catch. The Marlins get 4. They're chipping away. It's 19-5.
Hard-hitting TV.
Power play goal. Holy cow. Murray scores.
Cool TV.
Cutting edge TV.
Great shit.
Bruins hockey on NESN.
Tuesday, it's Bruins Islanders in New York. Coverage begins at 6:30 on NESN. NESN is your home for Boston Bruins hockey. And this season, every game ends with Bank North's Overtime. New England's Bruins postgame show.
I couldn't sleep the last week. You know, who's cool enough to think that he might go to the Hall of Fame?
NESN congratulates the guy who made closing cool.
Whatever. There's nothing like it, man. I'm just thrilled. That's all I can say.
The hot stove is heating up. Next year is heat.
So I had internet service. I liked it. Then I find out about PowerLink, Adelphia's high-speed internet service. I can't believe how fast pages download. Not only that, I don't have to tie up my phone line anymore. So now it's a breeze to shop online at my favorite stores. And I'm thinking, I love this.
Call now and get PowerLink for $19.95 a month for 6 months. PowerLink from Adelphia. High-speed internet for everyone.
Low-carb diet, huh?
We were on this low-carb diet together.
You're the cheater. I saw you at Subway ordering a sandwich.
It's okay. It's a new Atkins carb-controlled wrap.
Introducing the new Atkins-friendly chicken bacon ranch and turkey and bacon melt wraps. 2 great new tastes from Subway with under 11 net carbs.
You ate the kids' art project.
Subway, good, so you don't always have to be.
Action later in the game.
No nightcap tonight. But tomorrow night, is it on the Saturdays at 10 also? It's on every night at 10.
Every night at 10.
Set your watch by it. But I figured it out, Jerry. Okay, you want to try your dominant eye thing?
Yeah, why not? Go ahead.
It's probably easier without your glasses on. If you take your hands and put them in front of your eye, like in a little circle like this, so that you can see, like put it in the middle so you can see with both eyes.
Yep.
Right? Dead straight ahead.
Yep.
In a tight circle.
Yeah.
All right. Close your right eye. Can you see? Don't move your hands. Can you see?
I can't close my right eye.
Oh.
Without holding it. I can see.
You can see. All right. Close your left eye. Do you still see through your hands?
Yeah.
Don't move your hands though. It's like that. Just keep.
Yeah, but I can't close my eye without holding it down.
Oh. Ortiz hit by a pitch and is still face down in the dirt. And there's been a warning now. And Ray Little is coming out to check on Ortiz, who hasn't moved very much. Meanwhile, Jack McKeon is arguing the warning with the home plate umpire, Mark Carlson.
Well, you know, you figured at some point in this game, the way the Red Sox are scoring runs and hitting, that someone would be moved off the plate. I'm not so sure, looking at this, that this was the time that they were going to be knocked off the plate in the bottom of the 8th inning. But just in case, the umpire does give a warning to both sides. Looks like it gets Ortiz right off the knee. And that's why he is sprawled out on the ground.
Yeah, that has to hurt right off the kneecap.
Yep.
David on base. Well, he's unlikely to run. for the 5th time. A double, a walk, a 2-run homer, an RBI single, and now a hit by pitch. You can understand Jack McKeon's point. You know, why now? You hit a guy in the leg in a 15-run game. You're going to do it. We said you could have done it in the 1st inning.
Well, you do it earlier, or you wait till tomorrow or something. If that's a message that you want to get across, this seems like kind of a foolish time for anybody to do that. And
wouldn't you say, you know, we both have an enormous respect for the umpires and the job that they do, but it seems like the one area where you get a lot of debate is their judgment in issuing warnings and when not to, and situations of that type.
I think, Sean, in cases they're being extra cautious because of, you know, obviously they've tried to put a stop to a lot of these bench clearing brawls, and I think a lot of the umpires, in their defense, are trying to stop some of this stuff from happening or getting out of hand. Now, there have been times, obviously, where you look at a warning, you go, come on, you know, you've got to understand the game a little better than that. But I think they're erring on the side of caution just in case, because they don't want these bench clearing things and people get carried away.
Well, it looks like he's going to try to stay in the game as he hobbles down the first base line. By the way, if you could have seen through your hands with the one eye but not the other, the one that you could see is your dominant eye. Okay. If you're able to shut your eye. That's the problem I've been having. So when you go to sleep at night, do you have to hold your eye shut?
Yeah, I have to have someone hold them shut for me.
You do?
Yeah, I hire people to do that.
To hold them shut?
Yeah.
Why don't you just get like the Thurston Howell mask? A little sleeping. Who was it? Was it Thurston Howell? Jamie Farr and MASH, Klinger. Was it Lovey Howell? They tell me in the truck. Why not just get one of those? You see people on the plane sometimes on the long flights.
Yeah.
Millar, a broken bat lob that's going to fall in left field. And it's his 3rd hit of the game. He's been retired only once. He has 2 singles, a double, a walk, a sac fly, and a fly ball to right.
Right fielder, number 7.
And the numbers continue to be piled up. 14-run, bottom of the 1st. 50 minutes. The Red Sox were at bat. 21 runs for the Red Sox, most since they scored 22 against Tampa Bay, that memorable game here last year when Nomar hit 3 and drove in 10, 3 homers. 26 hits now. They just need 2 more to tie the club record. Marlins pitchers, if you tuned in late, threw 91 pitches in the 1st inning. Neal misses away to Nixon. He has singled, walked, popped out, singled, and singled again.
A lot of players tonight on the Red Sox getting a big bump in that batting average.
Got mad with himself as he fouled that one away. One and 2 on Nixon with Bill Miller on deck. Johnny Damon hoping for a chance to hit in this inning. Miller and Damon still with a chance to hit for the cycle. Backdoor breaking ball missed. 2 and 2. Miller needs a triple to hit for the cycle. The ball high. Blaine Neal, 25 years old, from New Jersey, Marlton, New Jersey, lives in Haddon Heights, New Jersey. The 4th-round pick of the Marlins in 1996. Ball 4. The bases are loaded with nobody out on a hit batsman, a single, and a walk.
3rd baseman, number 11, Bill Miller.
Neal was up and down 4 times last year between the Marlins and the minor leagues. Here's Bill Miller. He has walked at a 2-run double, a solo homer, an RBI single, and a strikeout. Now he needs the triple, so if he hits one, should he just keep running?
Make him throw you out?
Yeah.
Hit it to the 420 on a line, and he's got the triple.
You know, sometimes you see a little league game or whatever, farm league game, and the kid just keeps running. Well,
there was a guy that played for Toronto many years ago, Rick Bossetti. He would run till he was out.
Yeah. The ball. Well, we haven't seen a walk to four center run tonight. One of the few things we haven't seen. Neal, who's throwing it all over the place, one ball away from that. Three and one. That might have been the green light triple right there.
It's a 20. What is it? 20.
You can't swing on 3-0.
21-6. I wouldn't be
run game.
No.
Bad form. Fouled away, and now it's a full count. Miller asking the home plate umpire Carlson if it was high. It appeared to be. What a long night it's been for that gentleman back there. We'll get the latest pitch count from Leo White. You want to guess on the over-under on total number of pitches?
No. 400.
Might be low. They're 91 just by the Marlins in the first inning. That's well struck. Left field and off the wall. Ortiz is in. Millar scores as well. Nixon goes to third on a double by Bill Miller. 6 runs batted in for Miller tonight. 4 hits. He's been on base 5 times. And the Red Sox are 1 hit away now from tying their team record for hits in a game.
Number 33, Jason Varitek.
Opposite field for Bill Miller. Plant this off the left field wall. 6 RBIs, Sean mentioned tonight for Miller. Hitting out of the 8th spot in the Red Sox batting order.
Swing and a miss by Jason Varitek. He singled a knock in 2 in the first and scored. Walked later in the first. Struck out in the third. Singled a drive in another in the fourth. Grounded into a double play in the 6th. He hits one high and deep but foul. The 6 runs batted in for Miller, a career high. The next pitch will be number 370 of the night in this game. So close. Varitek hits that one a long way in left center. Pierre back on the warning track to make the catch. The runner's tag. Nixon scores. On to third, Miller. Varitek has his 4th RBI of the night and nearly got that one up on the wall to get the record tying 28th hit of the ball game.
Well, Damon with still a chance to hit for the cycle.
Still just 1 out. Johnny already with 4 hits. Double, triple, and single all in the first inning. When he scored twice and drove in 2. Then he struck out in the 3rd. Was robbed of a hit in the 4th on a diving catch by Juan Pierre in center. And then singled to right and scored last inning. What a lift it would be for the Red Sox over the second half of the year. If Damon can come to life. He has had a tough first half of the year offensively.
It's amazing, Sean, is you know, he has had a difficult first half, but it really hasn't affected the ball club. I mean, offensively, they're way at the top of the league in just about all the numbers. Traditionally, he's always been a very good second half player. I think last year was the exception to the rule where he started off quickly for the Red Sox and got tied in the second half.
Red Sox have scored 51 runs now in the last 4 games. Feasting on the Tigers and now the Marlins. 1-2 on Damon. Todd Walker on deck. Down to third, knocked down by the third baseman. Fox able to keep it in the infield and keep Miller at third. That's a hit for Damon, his 5th hit of the night. And that's the 28th hit of the night for the Red Sox, tying the team record of 28 on June 8th of 1950 against St. Louis.
Damon slapping that ball down third. A tough hop on the backhanded play by Fox, and that should go as a base hit. Look at that line score down the bottom for the Red Sox.
Walker to left. And the catch made by Cabrera. Tagging and coming to the plate is Miller, and he's safe. Miller was thrown out at the plate earlier in the game. The Red Sox have had 2 runners thrown out at the plate tonight. Or it could be even a little bit worse for the Marlins. So Walker with a sacrifice fly and a run batted in, his 3rd RBI of the ball game.
It's a pretty good throw here by Cabrera out there in left field. He was back to the warning track and made it a very close play at home.
Red Sox with 25 runs now. That's 4 shy of the major league record. Freddie Sanchez, the batter, and quickly in the hole, 0-2. Mitchell the 29, surpassing the 25 they have tonight. Strike 3. Sanchez called out to end the inning. The Red Sox get 4 in the 8th, and they go to the 9th, leading 25-6.
Stay in and get out each week with Nesson Outdoors, sponsored by Obashan Hardware. Nesson Outdoors is New England's only outdoor programming block featuring Charlie Moore Outdoors, Northeast Journal, Camo Country, Divers Down, and The Ride. It's 3 hours of fresh air, fun, and more. Charlie Moore, Nesson's own mad fisherman, and your host each week for Nesson Outdoors, sponsored by Obashan Hardware, Sunday nights at 8 on Nesson.
Hard-hitting TV.
Power play goal. Holy cow! Murray scores!
Full TV.
Cutting edge TV.
Great shot.
Bruins hockey on Nesson.
Tuesday, it's Bruins Islanders in New York. Coverage begins at 6:30 on Nesson.
Low-carb diet, huh?
We were on this low-carb diet together.
You're the cheater. I saw you at Subway ordering a sandwich.
It's okay. It's a new Atkins carb-controlled wrap.
Introducing the new Atkins-friendly chicken bacon ranch and turkey and bacon melt wraps. 2 great new tastes from Subway with under 11 net carbs.
You ate the kids' art project.
Subway, good, so you don't always have to be.
I'm Ronnie Deutsch. I've settled IRS tax bills for only $20. $20!
Ronnie was able to help us settle this debt for only $20.
Saved me $34,000.
Saved me $10,000.
When she says that she can settle this for pennies on the dollar, she absolutely means it.
If you wait, you can lose your chance to settle for $20.
Call the law offices of Ronnie Deutsch at 1-800-895-9922 for a free and confidential tax analysis. Call 1-800-895-9922.
They will try to finish off the Marlins. Andy Fox leads off. He was backing out as that pitch was on the way. The warning already issued. Well, he'll get ejected for that, as he should. The warning had been issued. The Marlins have already had a very rough night, getting roughed up in historic fashion on the field, having their pitcher taken to the hospital. after being hit in the head by a line drive.
Now look at Ortiz. Certainly Ortiz thought it was intentional, didn't he?
Ortiz hit last inning on the knee. Brady Little and Nomar Garcia-Parra among those restraining Ortiz. Some idiot just threw a ball out of the stands that almost hit one of the Marlins along the third base foul line, and it came from a long distance out of the stands. Dugout's empty and the bullpen's empty. No punches thrown. Was that, do you think, a necessary response by the Red Sox?
Well, I'm quite surprised by all of it. First of all, I did not think, obviously, that the first one was intentional. Apparently, I'm wrong because the Red Sox did. Certainly, Ortiz did and Almonte did, because it was clear on the first pitch. They were throwing inside, and you could see Fox backing out. And in the second pitch, he threw it behind him. So apparently, they did think it was intentional. This has been one of the most bizarre nights I think I've ever spent at Fenway Park. All these runs going on. You see a pitcher get hit in the head, unfortunately, and we hope he's okay. Then you see this at the end of a 25-6 ball game. But I was watching Ortiz come out of that dugout, and it was clear to him that he felt that he was being thrown at. Now, it would seem to me, Sean, that if you were throwing at people, they would have been back in the first inning when they were just getting run after run after run after run.
And isn't it fairly accepted baseball practice when you're getting drilled like that, that sooner or later somebody on the other team
is going to get it? Yeah,
they get hit.
And you would have expected it much earlier than when it actually happened.
So then the question becomes, should the Red Sox have just accepted that as a part of the totality of the night?
Well, the guy did get hit in the knee.
Yeah.
You know, if you just could brush back and knock down, you probably suck it up. Well, the guy did get hit in the knee, so they felt it was proper to retaliate. Jack McKeon, clearly there you can see, I think he feels this thing's a little bit out of control as he is just trying to keep his team back. But I was watching Ortiz come out, and he clearly had on his mind that he was pointing to whoever the person was that got him. And
it was Neal.
Yeah.
Plain Neal. Jason Shield comes in. He'll be the new pitcher. And we'll return to Fenway Park right after this. Jason Shield, the new pitcher for the Red Sox. After Hector Almonte was ejected. Throwing a ball behind Andy Fox. 2 balls and a strike to count on Fox. Shield, the 5th pitcher of the night for Boston, and he missed low.
One of the interesting possibilities, and you know, we don't know, we're guessing at things that are going on in this game. You remember back in the 7th inning, and the Red Sox tried to score in the 7th with the big lead. They had the 8-2 play at home. They threw him out at home, and then
Walker was thrown out.
Yeah, and then Ortiz was the first batter of the next inning, and then he got popped on the knee. So I mean, that could be a possibility too. A couple of Red Sox runners have scored by sacrifice fly in a kind of a runaway game, but it's hard to get into the mind of what's going on in there. But clearly, Ortiz felt like he was being thrown at.
The 3-2 pitch to Fox, slapped out of play to the left.
It's funny too, because Fox knew that he was going to get thrown at. Because remember that first pitch, he was stepping away from home plate. As that first pitch before he even left the hand of Almonte.
Play to the left again. Well, do you think this is the kind of thing that could linger through a long, hot weekend in Boston?
Well, it could, but right now you've had a guy hit, you've had another guy thrown at, you've had both teams warned. You would think that part of it is over. Obviously, all the runs that have scored tonight are going to be on the mind of the Marlins throughout this weekend.
Game now past the 4-hour mark. Ball 4.
And when things like that do happen, obviously, in the first game of the series, it could make for a long weekend.
That walk gets charged to Almonte.
The hitter, number 22, right fielder Brian Banks.
There's Brian Banks up for the second time. He struck out in the 7th. Red Sox lead 25-6. Second highest run total in Red Sox history. 14 runs in the first inning. And for the game, 28 hits, tying the club record as well. Red Sox scored 10 runs before they made an out. If you're just joining us, that's a major league record. 8 runs to start the game without making an out. And everybody has been involved in this historic night. Fly ball to left. Millar drifted a couple of steps toward the line to make the catch. Banks retired for the first out of the 9th.
It's interesting watching when both teams had dumped onto the field. Kevin Millar was in the middle. I mean, he knows everybody here. He knows the Red Sox players. He knows all the Marlin players from being a teammate last season.
Strike on Derek Lee. He's 1 for 4. He singled a knock and a run in the 5th inning. Breaking ball missed. Shield, the 5th Red Sox pitcher. Byung-Hyun Kim started, went 5. Came out after 5 with the huge lead. Ryan Roop pitched an inning. Rudy Cianez an inning. Almonte an inning plus, ejected after throwing behind the first batter of his 2nd inning of work. And now Shield in what is not a save situation. That's well struck. Center field. Damon out of room, and it is off the top of the wall. And the third base umpire saying home run now. Home run for Derek Lee. Apparently it hit up at the base of the flagpole there in the camera area, just above the wall. No argument from the Red Sox. A 2-run homer for Lee to ease the blow for the Marlins just a little bit. His 14th homer of the year.
If you watch this baseball, you'll see it's hit right around that camera position, right in front of that camera position, and a good call by the umpires. Derek Lee picks up his 14th home run of the season. He's got 3 RBI in the night.
It's 25-8. Miguel Cabrera, the hitter. Lined and caught by Todd Walker, fully outstretched, reaching to his left and denying Cabrera in his bid for a hit.
That ball slicing away from Todd Walker, and makes a nice play on the line drive. The ball actually looked like it was behind him when he made the catch. Cabrera hitting the ball hard, slicing away from Walker, but you can see him reaching over that left shoulder to make the catch.
Marlins down to their final out. And Alex Gonzalez looked at a ball. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. Back in the 2nd inning. The win will be the Red Sox 5th in a row. They're 8th in a row here at Fenway Park. They'll remain 2 games behind the Yankees in the American League East. Gonzalez hits it in the air in left center. Damon there, and that does it.
Tough night for Jack McKeon and the Marlins. A historic night for the Red Sox. 4 hours and 7 minutes. Red Sox scored 14 runs in the first inning, 10 before they made it out. They win it 25-8. 25 runs on a team record tying 28 hits and 1 error for Boston. And the Red Sox left 7 men, make it 8 men on base. And the Marlins 8 runs, 10 hits without an error. And Florida stranded 10. Winning pitcher Byung-Hyun Kim, 2-1, and the loser Carl Pavano, who did not retire a batter while making the start for Florida. He is 6-9. As we said, 4 hours and 7 minutes to play it before 34,764.
Baseball or T-ball? You make the call. Jack McKeon, the Marlins manager, was a little angry that the Sox might have run up the score. I mean, come on, Jack, 25 runs. It was more like a sprint, okay? The first inning alone was almost an hour long. You should save a little bit of your anger for your own pitchers. I mean, our guys would have preferred a little rest. You know, they're up, they're down. Enough already. Records fell, the teams nearly brawled, and the Marlins ended up winning the World Series. Who knew? Hindsight, which is what we're all about here on Fanatic, where everything old seems new again.
Twice as many as anybody else. Second, Barrett at first.
Nesson is your home for Boston Bruins hockey. And this season, every game ends with Bank North's overtime. New England's Bruins postgame show.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep the last week. You know, who's cool enough to think that he might go to the Hall of Fame?
Nesson congratulates the guy who made closing cool.
Whatever. There's nothing like it, man. I'm just thrilled. That's all I can say.
The hot stove is heating up. Next year is here. So stay tuned to Nesson, because we got your Sox inside out. Tune in Red Sox Inside Out each week for complete off-season updates on your team and your players. Inside Out covers your Sox right up through spring training with interviews, analysis, and more. Red Sox Inside Out. The hot stove just got hotter. Tuesday night following Bruins hockey on Nesson. Catch up when you wake up every morning on Sports Desk. Every 15 minutes from 5 to 9 a.m., get a complete update on New England sports and all the scores from Desk's new rotating scoreline. Sports Desk, our sportscast on your schedule.
Coming up on ESPN News, we'll find out if the NBA's hottest team can keep it rolling against Denver. Look who's back for Cleveland. And would it make a difference against Orlando? What's Teddy Bruschi's status for the Super Bowl? How about Stephen Davis? Updates coming up.
From ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, this is ESPN News.
It's the T-Wolves and the Nuggets. First quarter, Nene's got just one name, and KG busting J's in his face. T-Wolves up 8 at that point. Same quarter, Andre Miller with the steal. Carmelo Anthony with the finish. 6-point game. Denver hanging tough. Later in the first, it's Melo up ahead to Rodney White. And they cut it to a 2-point game. And we take a look at where they stand right now. Still a 2-point game, but the Nuggets leading now as the third quarter winds down. KG doing what he does on the way to another double-double, 22 points and 9 rebounds for him. Sam Cassell also working on a double-double, but Andre Miller leading the way for the improved Nuggets. 11-4 at home against the West, but trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Hi there, it's ESPN News. Stanford right here along with Bill Pito. What kind of cheese would you be? Don't ignore me.
The Cavs won 3 of 4 without LeBron James, but he was back in the mix tonight against Orlando.
Weren't expecting that, were we?
LeBron James, Stan, has missed the last 4 games, and Cleveland's won 3 of them.
I'm thinking Limburger.
Tracy McGrady for 3. Tracy McGrady for 3. Tracy McGrady for 3. Tracy McGrady for 3 and a foul. It's a 4-point play. And then it's McGrady again. 34 points in the first half. 8 out of 9 from three-point land in the first half. The Magic had 62 points in the first half, and McGrady had 34 of them. Meantime, LeBron looking healthy. Third quarter, T-Mac getting hurt. A sprained toe. Did not return. 34 in the first half. Finished the game with 36. Had to limp off. Eric Williams, a former Celtic, runner in the lane, and the Cavs are up by 3. Under 5 to go. Magic down 1. Rod Strickland, shot or a pass, whatever it is, it's short. Stephen Hunter, not in time.
Put it up. I don't know if it was a shot or
Officials looked at the replay just to be certain, and in fact, you see the clock. Ball game, not even close. And the Cavaliers win the return of James.
As Eric Williams.
Orlando had won 5 in a row over Cleveland, but Cleveland wins it by 1, even though McGrady had the 36. Juwan Howard, 21 points, 13 boards, and how about 6 assists? The Magic now, they've lost 12 of the last 16 overall.
All right, we thank those of you watching on ESPN2. We're going to send you off to the Australian Open. So enjoy the tennis, and thanks for joining us here on ESPN News. All right, Rockets and Heat from Miami. It's a Van Gundy thing, brother versus brother. Caron Butler, 80 feet away at the buzzer. Looked pretty good, but too bad it didn't count. Still worth another look, though.
From the foul line at the other end.
Butler with 14